Hey you guys, happy Friday. I was trying to wait until Grace took a nap, but her naps have not been very long today, so she is hanging out with me in this video. So hopefully she will cooperate and not be too crazy. Today we're gonna read chapters, oh my goodness, what are we on? 9 and 10 of Because of Winn-Dixie, and then I have a fun FriYAY activity for you to do at home. And yeah, let's get started. Chapter 9. Just about everything that happened to me that summer happened because of Winn-Dixie. For instance, without him, I would have never met Gloria Dump. He was the one who introduced us. What happened was this. I was riding my bike home from Gertrude's Pets, and Winn-Dixie was running along beside me. We went past Dunlap and Stevie Dewberry's house, and when Dunlap and Stevie saw me, they got on their bikes and started following me. They wouldn't ride with me, they just rode behind me and whispered things that I couldn't hear. Neither one of them had any hair on his head because their mama shaved their heads every week during the summer because of the one time that Dunlap got fleas in his hair from their cat. And now they look like two identical bald-headed babies even though they weren't twins. Dunlap was 10 years old like me, and Stevie was 9 and tall for his age. I can hear you, I hollered back at them. I can hear what you're saying, but I couldn't. Winn-Dixie started to race way ahead of me. You better watch out, Dunlap hollered. That dog is headed right for the witch's house. Winn-Dixie, I called, but he kept going on faster and hopped a gate and went into the most overgrown jungle of a yard that I had ever seen. You better go get your dog out of there, Dunlap said. The witch will eat that dog, Stevie said. Shut up, I told them. I got off my bike and went up to the gate and hollered. Winn-Dixie, you better come out of there. But he didn't. She's probably eating him right now, Stevie said. He and Dunlap were still standing behind me. She eats dogs all the time. Get lost, you bald-headed babies, I said. It's not very nice. Hey, said Dunlap, that ain't a very nice way for a preacher's daughter to talk. He and Stevie backed up a little. I stood there and thought for a minute. I finally decided that I was more afraid of losing Winn-Dixie than I was of having to deal with a dog-eating witch, so I went through the gate and into the yard. That witch is going to eat the dog for dinner and you for dessert, Stevie said. We'll tell the preacher what happened to you. Dunlap shouted after me. By then, I was deep in the jungle. There was every kind of thing growing everywhere. There were flowers and vegetables and trees and vines. Winn-Dixie, I said, I heard, this dog sure likes to eat. I went around a really big tree all covered in moss, and there was Winn-Dixie. He was eating something right out of the witch's hand. She looked up at me. This dog sure likes peanut butter, she said. You can always trust a dog that likes peanut butter. She was old, with crinkly brown skin. She had on a big floppy hat with flowers all over it, and she didn't have any teeth. But she didn't look like a witch. She looked nice, and Winn-Dixie liked her, I could tell. I'm sorry he got in your garden, I said. You ain't gotta be sorry, she said. I enjoy a little company. My name's Opal, I told her. My name's Gloria Dump, she said. Ain't that a terrible last name? Dump? My last name is Baloney, I said. Sometimes the kids at school back home in Watley called me lunch meat. Ha! Gloria Dump laughed. What about this dog? What you call him? Winn-Dixie, I said. Winn-Dixie thumped his tail on the ground. He tried smiling, but it was hard with his mouth all full of peanut butter. Winn-Dixie? Gloria Dump said. You mean like the grocery store? Yes, ma'am, I said. Ooh, she said. That's a strange name prize, don't it? That takes the strange name prize, don't it? Yes, ma'am, I said. I was just fixing to make myself a peanut butter sandwich, she said. You want one too? All right, I said. Yes, please. I'm gonna pause for a second. Come here, Grace. You wanna read with us? Come here. Okay. Grace just wants to read Because of Winn-Dixie. Huh. Is that what it is? Let's see. Okay, are you ready? Go on and sit down, she said, pointing at a lawn chair with the back all busted out of it, but sit down careful. I sat down careful and Gloria Dump made me a peanut butter sandwich on white bread. Then she made one for herself and put her false teeth in to eat it. When she was done, she said to me, "You know, my eyes ain't too good at all. I can't see nothing but the general shape of things. So I got to rely on my heart. Why don't you go on and tell me everything about yourself so I can see you with my heart?" And because Winn-Dixie was looking up at her like she was the best thing he had ever seen, and because the peanut butter sandwich had been so good, and because I had been waiting for a long time to tell some person about everything about me, I did. Chapter 10. I told Gloria Dump everything. I told her how me and the preacher had just moved to Naomi and how I had to leave all my friends behind. I told her about my mama leaving, and I listed out the 10 things that I knew about her. And I explained that here in Naomi, I missed Mama more than I ever had in Watley. I told her about the preacher being like a turtle, hiding all the time inside his shell. I told her about finding Winn-Dixie in the produce department and how because of him, I became friends with Miss Franny Block and got a job working for a man named Otis at Gertrude's Pets and got invited to Sweetie Pie Thomas's birthday party. I even told Gloria Dump how Dunlap and Stevie Dewberry called her a witch, but I told her they were stupid, mean, bald-headed boys, and I didn't believe them. Not for long, anyhow. And the whole time I was talking, Gloria Dump was listening. She was nodding her head and smiling and frowning and saying, and is this right? I could feel her listening with all her heart, and it felt good. "You know what?" she said when I was all done. "What?" "Could be that you got more of your mama in you than just that red hair and freckles and running fast." "Really?" I said. "Like what?" "Like maybe you got her green thumb. The two of us could plant something and see how it goes to test your thumb out." "Okay," I said. What Gloria Dump picked for me to grow was a tree. Or she said it was a tree. To me it looked more like a plant. She had me dig a hole for it and put it in the ground and pat the dirt around it tight, like it was a baby and I was tucking it into bed. "Oh, like we tuck you into bed, Grace?" "What kind of tree is it?" I asked Gloria Dump. "It's a wait and see tree," she said. "What's that mean?" "It means you gotta wait for it to grow up before you know what it is." "Can I come back and see it tomorrow?" I asked. "Child," she said, "as long as this is my garden, you're welcome in it, but that tree ain't going to have changed much by tomorrow." "But I want to see you too," I said. "Humph," said Gloria Dump. "I ain't going nowhere. I be right here." I woke Winn-Dixie up then. He had peanut butter in his whiskers and kept yawning and stretching. He licked Gloria Dump's hand before we left, and I thanked her. That night when the preacher... It's hard for me to see, Grace, when you're doing that. That night when the preacher was tucking me into bed, I told him how I got a job at Gertrude's Pets, and I told him all about making friends with Miss Franny Block and getting invited to Sweetie Pie's party, and I told him about meeting Gloria Dump. Winn-Dixie lay on the floor waiting for the preacher to leave so he could hop up on the bed like he always did. When I was done talking, the preacher kissed me goodnight, and then he leaned way over and gave Winn-Dixie a kiss too, right on top of his head. "You can go ahead and get up there now," he said to Winn-Dixie. Winn-Dixie looked at the preacher. He didn't smile at him, but he opened his mouth wide like he was laughing. The preacher had just told him the funniest joke in the world. This is what amazed me the most. The preacher laughed back. Winn-Dixie hopped up on the bed, and the preacher got up and turned out the light. I leaned over and kissed Winn-Dixie too, right on the nose, but he didn't notice. He was already asleep and snoring. Oh, Grace, Winn-Dixie snores like you do. Okay, let's see. Sorry if the lighting's all weird. This is gonna be a crazy YouTube video today, guys. It's all Grace's fault. Say hi. Can you smile for everybody? No? Okay. I'm gonna try and set her down for our Fun Friday activity. You're okay. Here. Here's your bunny rabbit. Okay, so if you are in my class, then you know that we love to make paper airplanes. Of course, when we're not learning, when we finished our schoolwork, during free time, indoor recess, all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna show you guys this fancy little airplane. I found it on a science website, and it's saying that it's kind of like a paper hoverboard. So I'm gonna show you guys how I made it, and then hopefully you guys can send me some videos, and maybe yours will turn out even better than mine did. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and move this camera. Grace is gonna start talking to us. I want you to be able to see how I'm folding it. I probably should have thought this through more, but Grace is kind of throwing me off my A game today. All right, let's see. Okay. So here is what I did. First, really all you need for this is a piece of paper, which I liked because most of you should have some sort of piece of paper at home. You have to cut it into a square. So I had a normal 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and then I cut off the extra so that I had a square, okay? And the first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna take your square and you're gonna fold it corner to corner to make a triangle. Okay, so then you should just have this. And then you're gonna fold that triangle in half, corner to corner again. So that way you have a smaller triangle. So you should have it like this now. And then you unfold so that you have the larger triangle again, but Grace is rolling over in her little pack and play. You have the little crease in the middle, and then you're gonna fold in these. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna fold in like this. I'll show you what I mean. So it'll look like this because you folded that in. Does that kind of make sense? So I'm gonna do this side and then it'll look like that, okay? And if I turn this down a little bit, you can see a little bit better. So you're just taking this. Trying to get this lined up good. Okay, so then it'll look like this, almost like it's a kite. If I flip it that way, it looks like a kite, kind of. And then you're gonna fold the inside edges toward the outside edges. So we're gonna fold this little piece and fold it out. What are you doing, Grace? I have to keep her in this pack and play now because she is starting to be mobile. She's getting crazy. She's trying to crawl already. Okay, so see how I did one side? And I just folded it out like that, so then I'm gonna do it on this side too. Trying to like, maybe right there you guys can see. Okay. So then it should look like this. Kind of fancy, huh? And then it says turn the paper upside down and blow gently. So I was trying to practice this, but like it should zoom away. They're calling it a hovercraft. Wow! I was thinking should have probably practiced this a lot more before I showed you guys. The one that they have works a lot better than the one that Miss Duncan has, and it looks really cool. So, ooh, that one probably would have flown. So basically what it is you want to blow into this piece in here, okay? Because it says that it traps air and it creates a zone of high pressure. And then the air that goes over this has lower pressure, and that's what makes it fly better than a normal paper airplane. So, Miss Duncan's fired. I know all of you are better at making these than me, so. It says The difference creates lift and gets rid of the friction that normally holds the paper in place. Without friction holding it back, a little breath is all it takes to get the hovercraft speeding on its way. Ooh, that went much better. All right, so you guys try it, and then we'll see if all of you can do a better one than Miss Duncan, which I'm sure that you can. And then also, I wanted to tell you guys that if you need help on Google Meet on a day that's not your day, you can get on any day from 10 to 11. I have a lot of you guys doing that already, but I wanted to make sure that you guys know that. The schedule is just kind of a guideline if you just want to hang out and say hi. But if you need help and you want to do some serious learning, you can get on every single day. I miss you guys, and I hope you have fun. Don't forget to look at the Arizona PowerPoint from yesterday before next Thursday. That way you're prepped for our history lesson next week. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys soon. Grace, are you showing them how you are trying to crawl? She's trying. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.